Hi everyone, this is Terry and I have my Luminaire. I've had her for a couple of days, but I really haven't had an opportunity to sew on her or to film any videos, but I will be filming videos on the Luminaire as well as my Dream Machine. The first thing I want to show you when you get your machine is you'll want to go in and set up your Wi-Fi. It's in the upper left-hand corner of your screen. If you select it, you select wireless LAN enable and turn that on, and then what you need to do is to go into your setup wizard. I've already set mine up, so you will see different Wi-Fi networks that are available, and you see that right now. And then the next thing you'll do is to set up your machine name. Just follow the prompts. It's fairly easy to do, and I had it set up in a matter of minutes. Okay, let's go into sewing. Excuse me a minute. In sewing, the thing that's different is on the Dream Machine, you would see the icons over on the right hand side of the screen, and then to get to the multiple categories, they were all on the top of the screen, but now you can scroll across those categories. Let's select a stitch, and let's select this icon in the upper right hand side, which allows me to either put my feed dogs down or allows me to go to the beginning of the stitch. I can see a singular stitch. I can mirror image, not this particular stitch, left and right, and I can choose the double needle, and if I had buttonholes, I can actually enter the size of the slit if I wanted to have a manual buttonhole where I didn't, for some reason I couldn't put the button in the buttonhole foot. Okay, let's go to character decorative stitches, and I will cover this much more in depth, but I wanted to show you first impressions. The first thing I want to show you is there are 15 categories in the character decorative stitches, and there are some beautiful stitches. Some are very large. On the Dream Machine there are 6. And the other thing is there are Disney stitches that are built into the machine along with the alphabet, and this is the pocket when you save a stitch. I looked for quite a while actually on a PDF, which I'm still biting the bullet about not having a printed manual, but I won't go into that. Anyway, I'll select a stitch, and I want to show you another difference. On the Dream Machine, what you would do is you would select different stitches and you would build combinations. That's not true on this machine. To build a combination, you need to select the plus sign, and then you can select your separate stitch. The other thing that I'll tell you that's different on this machine is that in category 6 you could choose large and small, but you could not change the width, length, or left right shift. What's nice about this machine is that you have the ability to change the size of a stitch proportionately by touching this icon in the lower right. You'll see what looks like a little link key, and this means that as I change the size of that stitch, I'm changing it proportionately. You'll notice that it's a lighter color, which means it's selected. If I choose the plus key, I'm selecting the stitch above it. So anything that I want to do over here on the right hand side will apply to that stitch. Let's just add another one, and you can see that I can flip it from left to right, or it, depending on the stitch, I could flip it up and down. I want to delete that stitch, so I'll press delete. Now if I want to save it, I would save it in memory, and it would write to that pocket that I showed you earlier, and I would retrieve it. I've already done that, so I want to show you that. To get out of this, I'll just press character decorative stitch, OK, and let's go to the pocket, and you can see some of the combinations that I've stored already. I will have more about this later on, but this just gives you a quick introduction to some things that are new on the machine. Okay, let's go home very quickly. And let's go into my design center. I have several videos on recorded for the Dream Machine on my design center, and although the icons are different, if you go to those videos, you'll get the gist of how to use the functions in the Luminaire. And let's just talk about that very quickly. The icon for the built-in stamps is right here. I'll select a stamp and OK. And now what I want to do is I want to add a stitch to the outline. These are my outline stitches or line stitches. I'll select the properties page and I want to choose one of the new stitches. And these are motif stitches. I really like that one. I'll choose a color and OK. Now I'll apply it using the bucket. Now I want to fill the center of that star. I'll choose the properties for the fill stitches, go into the decorative fills. We now have more decorative fills. We have 30. And I'll just choose one that I like and choose OK. And let's get a color. And now we want to fill the inside. And now we'll choose next. So one of the things that is different is that, first of all, you can see those new stitches, and when you get to this menu, you can see very clearly what those stitches look like. Let's choose the outline stitch, and I can flip it, which I really like. And the next thing that I can do is go into the fill stitch. I have two new icons. One of them is to distort the fill stitches with a random shift. And you can see in a moment what that does to the stitch. If you don't like it, press the back arrow. And let's go back and make another change. And let's go into this category. This is where I can do an offset, and the offset allows me to move that design around within that shape. So we'll let that select, and now I'm ready to set it and to go to embroidery. If I wanted to save this as a design that I would work on my design center, I would have saved it before this point. So when you get into embroidery, you can increase or decrease the size of the stitch using your fingers. I really like that. But there will be more on embroidery and also more on other features of the machine. This is just a quick look at some of the things that are new on the machine. Once I've explored more, I will be sharing them with you. Thank you.